This storm system could bring snow to many across the southeast, and there are growing signs it will happen. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice. If you're new to this channel, please consider liking this video. Comment in the comment section where you're watching from and turn on the subscription here. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you'll want to do that because what I'm going to do here over the next several days is update you on this. This storm will pack a punch with snow, with ice, with freezing rain, and it's going to impact many across the south and the southeast. And we need to be dialed in on this because as we move forward here, there's a lot of details that we need to look out for because we just had a front move through our area, and what it's doing is making very windy conditions. In this map beside me here, you can see all the different brown colors, most of North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, up through Pennsylvania, New York, under high wind warnings. It is windy. Anytime it's this windy, it's the environment trying to correct itself and go back to a sense of normalcy here. So how do we go from where we're at right now to the potential of snow? I'm going to unpack all of it here for you. And again, please let me know in the comments where you're watching from right now. What city, what county, what state. I thoroughly appreciate it, and it helps me tailor a forecast to you. Okay, so where we go this week, notice the big dip in temperatures coming our way late week. This is going to be the cold air that we're going to watch out for that could be supportive of some wintry weather. And it looks really cold. I mean, we're going to be chilly beginning tomorrow. Lows in the 20s once more, highs in the 40s this week. And then as we go toward Thursday, Friday, it gets seriously cold by Friday morning. Sub-zero entering the Midwest, single digits in Tennessee. North Carolina mountains, we've got a few degrees above zero. Teens in North Georgia through the upstate. Richmond, Virginia, in the single digits to around 10 degrees. It means business. So what about snow? Well, let's map out the three big computer models. This is the European. What we're looking here is it a wave, upper level wave, or is it a wave that creates a surface low and maybe there's some phasing involved where the two do a little dance and kickstart some bigger snow? Well, in this case, the European has trended a little bit back and more in the wheelhouse of just a big wave coming through. For some, this would be a wave coming through Wednesday mid-morning, 10 a.m., Some light snow would break out across the upstate and western North Carolina. And what that would do is lead to a quick hit of 1 inch to 2 inches. This would be over with by Wednesday afternoon, sailing off toward the eastern parts of North Carolina by the Wednesday evening. Because a surface low develops here, what that does is kick-starts more Atlantic moisture pulling into that cold air. This would be the big one for areas like Raleigh, Chapel Hill, maybe as far west as Charlotte. But basically Charlotte east to Fayetteville, Wilmington, eastern parts of North Carolina, including Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Richmond, Virginia, Norfolk, up through Washington, D.C. That would be a big snow in this European model. Then it stays cold into Thursday, Friday, so school impacts and delays certainly possible through the end of the week. Now, as far as the Europeans' totals are concerned, it's more of a nuisance type event, maybe an inch back here through the I-85 corridor, the upstate, to maybe 2 to 2.5 inches across the mountains. And most of that, if not all of that, would fall Wednesday mid-morning through Wednesday afternoon, a very short-lived 6-hour event. It's more prolonged one day to 1.5 day event here for North Carolina into Eastern Virginia, where it could be a big one, including Richmond, Norfolk, up through D.C., even getting close to New York City, could get some big snow out of this. Now, if you look at ice, the Europeans not always done well with ice, but it does point at, wow, not only could it be snow, but an icy mix, and a lot of it for areas along the I-85 corridor through Charlotte, Eastern North Carolina, could be dealing with 1/2 inch or more of ice with that as well. What do we get when we average out all of the different computer models? This would be the Europeans' 51 different runs. Very similar look here, which you want to see to the one operational run that we had displayed just a moment ago. 1 to 2 inches of snow in Western Carolinas to 10 inches back here. Difference in it being everything shut down and we got to be careful of this. I want to look at one more thing, and it's probabilities of wintry weather 1 inch or more. And this has trended up and down, but simply put, there's still about a 10 to 20 to 30% chance here across the upstate. For the mountains, that has gone down a little bit on this European run. So it's gotten a little bit more to the south, but the chances aren't that much higher. This yellow would indicate a 50% line. So 50% or greater in that yellow. 50% or lower below that yellow. Does that make sense? On all of our averaged European models. It's a good way to look at a trend. So if I'm comparing it to last night's run, that yellow line was over the I-85 corridor. It trended with today's run to the I-40 corridor. Does that make sense? So from the I-40 to the I-85 corridor, it's trending north a little bit. Okay, so what does it tell us? Well, if I look at 51 different versions of that one model of the European, basically with a slightly different temperature, slightly different direction of the low, none of them give me anything more than 2 inches of snow. Maybe this one right here is 2.5. This one's 4.2, but the average is pretty low. So if you average all of them out, it gives about 1 inch of snow for GSP. It gives about 1.5 inches on the operational model. So they're in line with a quick burst of some snow. That's enough for some of you, right? But some of you want the big one. Well, let's look at what the GFS America model says. It is very much in the camp of a quick wave coming in, same time frame, identical time frame to the European. Some snow in Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, and North Carolina, with maybe a cold rain mix in the upstate. Stays right along that state line, kind of following the higher elevation and colder temperatures line. And then it also bombs it out over here toward the eastern Carolinas with more accumulation there. Accumulation on the GFS looks like this. About 4 to 3 inches in the mountains, with higher amounts up here toward Norfolk, with less amounts toward the Triad in North Carolina. All right, let's look at the GFS ensembles for the GSP area. Out of 30 different runs of the GFS, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 30 show it. That's why the chance sits, 10% or less on some of these averaged out models. What about the Canadian? Let's look at that. That's one of our big three and can oftentimes be some good guidance. It's almost identical to the GFS. A little bit infiltrates the upstate a little bit more. Same exact timing, identical timing. It's just a moisture-starved system here. Quick burst of a 1/2 inch of snow maybe, but it really shows more amounts over here toward the coast where that surface low forms. It's a little too late for areas to the west. So what does the Canadian model show for totals? Well, if you want to see snow, it's not a lot. 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch across the upstate, but enough to kind of coat the ground a little bit on that Wednesday, with 1 inch or so in the mountains, with again, winter chicken dinner. Richmond, Virginia, Norfolk, up here toward northeastern parts of North Carolina could see, 5, 10, even 12 inches of snow. The folks at the Weather Prediction Center here have that highlighted. You can see snow chances exceeding 70% up here toward the Triad, north toward Richmond, Norfolk, Washington, D.C., while the I-40 corridor north and eastbound has a greater than 50% chance of snow during that time frame, while the I-85 corridor, being a little bit further away, is a 30% chance or more, with the rest of us at about a 10% chance. That looks accurate to me. That looks like kind of a forecast that we can kind of lean our hats on. What about temperatures? Well, for the rest of February, we're kind of locked in with some cold air. So to say this is our last chance is close, okay? We can certainly and have certainly gotten snow in March many times before, but the outlook actually turns drier. So we're turning drier and colder once we get past this system on Wednesday. Good time to go wash your cars after they salt the roads on Wednesday, right? How about the extended outlook? Well, let's go deeper into that March timeframe. This would be the first few days of March. Again, we're below normal, but look what's lurking toward the west. Above normal temperatures trying to work their way our way, and still dry. So we're still dry after we get past this one system. And then if you were to look at the weeks 3 and 4 temperature outlook, this is the first 2 weeks of March. How did we get there? I don't know. But above normal temperatures looking more likely, and above normal precipitation. So we're warmer and wet going into March as an early indicator here. So folks, I hope that answers a lot of the questions you may have about what may come our way this week. Simply put, something is there. All three of our computer models show something is coming. We just have to iron out what exactly and what the track that low will be. Is there a chance this could be a big snow for your town? Well, let me know what town you're watching and I'll let you know. But yes, this could be a big one. Is it more likely that only some areas get snow? Yes, probably. Right now, that looks like North Carolina has the most solid chance of that, and we're going to have to iron that out in the coming days. And the best way to stay informed is to keep checking back in. I'll say it again. Please like this video, comment in the comment section where you're watching from, and subscribe. Subscribe to whatever channel you're watching from right now, and that's the best way to stay tuned because I will keep you posted. Hope you and your family have a good day. Please share this video with anybody that could be getting the big one or anybody you want to see snow because it's coming for somebody here over the next week. Have a good day, everybody.